Hey folks, Andreas Monk here. Sitting around outside Anixia's lair, trying to think of the best way to get over to Blackrock Spire on the other continent. And right now that seems like that might actually be porting back to Storm Shield and then porting back to Stormwind. Seems just a little ridiculous. But it's what I do to provide you with videos. So, let's see what happens. I mean, Molten Core is like dead simple anyway. I mean, really, it is dead simple compared to most of this other stuff. Anixia is really easy. And I should note that like these helms and stuff that I have from the Anixia that we just did, they're not actually the original teams that Anixia used to drop. They're actually updated ones meant for level 80s. So I think the only place that you can get the original ones is that they made them drop off of Nefarian and Blackwing Lair. But I don't even think they recolored them, so it's not really a big loss. Now, the thing I probably remember most about Molten Core is fire resist. Fire resist, fire resist, fire resist, and I need to go this way. Yeah, though. Fire resist, fire resist, fire resist. That place was killer if you didn't have it. And even if you did have it, it might still be killer. Can I get... I think I can get there from this zone right over the border here. It's like Owen Forest. I should note too that at the time I was doing this originally, I was on a Horde PvP server, which, yeah, that was fun. Well, Horde side PvP on a PvP server. It was not uncommon trying to make your way to Anixia or Molten Core or Blackwing Lair or any of those places to have to deal with a camp of the opposite faction sitting outside, either because they were gathering up and you guys were just coming back from a wipe or something, or, you know, any number of other reasons. Oh. Now, Molten Core had an attunement chain as well, which if I'm remembering correctly, I think actually involved you dying and having to come in here. As it is right now, I need to remember how to get back down there. And I think it's going to involve me running up this incline here. Just gorgeous architecture in here. For a 10-year game, I mean, I know they've gone through and done graphical updates, but they haven't made any major substantial changes to the engine, and that is just amazing to me. I mean, yes, it does look a little clunky in places, but they really have done a good job of keeping it keeping it looking good. And part of that, yeah, there used to be a guy right in here that you had to talk to while you were dead. But yeah, they a lot of this thing continuing to stay relevant has to do, in terms of appearance, has a lot to do with the fact that they went with a stylized design. None of this stuff is overly realistic, so your brain doesn't date it as easily. I mean, they've had to update the character models, and that's partly because they did other because they were creating new models, and as they created new models, they made them higher detail, which made the older models, especially the old human models, look really, really, really bad. And if I'm basing anything off of anything, these guys are going to die in like one ability hit. Yep. And I can actually just run through pretty much this entire area right now. This character needs Hydraxian Warlord's rep, but not my main. He got exalted a long, long time ago. So that was the other thing, was that in addition to a tuning for this place in the first case, you also oh yeah, that's right. There wasn't even much point to killing him. At least not unless I kill yeah, I don't remember who it is now. The second guy back in there. The mother or father of all big doggies. But you had to get this rep with the Hydraxian Waterlords. And that rep was necessary in part because all of the bosses had this little have this little thing near where they stand. And I'm thinking that if I just go up here and go, that should kill them all fast enough. That's the thing, these guys, you have to kill them all within about 45, well, not even 45, less than 45 seconds apart from each other, or they all just repop. They bring each other back to life, the smoldering of the others. Oh, okay. Ooh, Cenarian boots. Which are, yeah, okay, not so great. Kinda goofy looking. A ring of spell power. Essence of fire, heart of fire. Elemental fire. Everything in here. Fire, 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 fire. Fire, 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 fire. And I'll just note that for the purposes of how quick and easy it is to kill these things. See, he doesn't have the little mark, but Magmadar here has this little mark on the ground, and nowadays you kill him and it extinguishes, but back in the day you used to have this aqua quintessence from the Hydraxian Waterlords, and you could only carry one at a time. And yeah. Ooh, Cenarian leggings. Let's see here. Yeah, you can see how that kind of blends together. The Cenarian set for the Druids. Ooh, fancy red and green for the Warlocks there. The Druid set actually makes you kind of look like a tree. You get these green leafy shoulders, and the pattern on a lot of the armor looks kind of like bark. I love that. Magmadar down after 1 second. Boy, don't I wish we had those kind of times back in the day. But yeah, like that was ever going to happen. This whole room, though, used to be such a mess because not only do you have to deal with the fact that these guys, if you don't kill the packs, you know, really quickly in succession, they respawn, but you also have to deal with the fact that if you can't down Magmadar or Lucifron in a decent amount of time, that those guys respawn after like 45 minutes. Those guys respawn. Some of these guys, I can't remember if it's the Annihilators or the Surgers or both, respawn after a while. You have to kill Gar to stop these guys from spawning. And I don't think the Fire Lords respawn, but if they did, it would be if they did, it would be Baron Geddon that you'd have to kill to get them dead properly. And yeah, there's seriously like at least like a 10x damage multiplier here going on. Actually, it looks like about 30. Because Judgment is 4,000 holy damage, and that just did 125,000 damage to that guy. Gehennis was a real pain in the butt because he actually he cursed the raid. I mean, most of the guys like this actually cursed the raid, but his was a real pain because I want to say it reduced the healing received. I didn't ask to auto loot that. Anyway, we are coming up on Monsieur Gar here. And I'll be honest, I'm actually kind of hoping. I think this character, I think I ran enough of Molten Core on in the last expansion to actually get one of the things for. Now here's I am going to run in here and do AoE stuff, and hopefully... Okay. That was not as dangerous as I thought it was going to be. I guess they made those guys not... Oh yeah, that was the other part of Cenarian, was that it also gave you antlers. Leafy green shoulders, antlers for a helm. Gar was a fun fight, especially if you didn't have enough warlocks and shamans, because all those little dudes around him exploded when you killed them. And this was not a nice explosion. I don't think there are any nice explosions, but it was not a nice explosion. They'd explode when you killed them, throwing you up into the... Like, the explosion didn't normally... That wasn't normally enough to kill you. What killed you was the giant... The fact that it threw you up into the air. Now, fun fact, I'm going to kill these next two guys in here, but we actually used to always... Everyone used to do them in Gar's room, and that's because... this area is really messy to deal with, and you need a lot of space for these two bosses. So that was Baron Getten. He had an ability called Living Bomb. And oh man, this takes me back a bit, because it used to be the case that you could actually keep a healer that was in your raid out of combat. And what you would do, why you would do this was that if they were out of combat, they could res somebody. I think they could only res like one person before it stopped working, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, they could res somebody. It was their in-combat res, which, when you consider that the only two classes that could do something like that otherwise were Shaman and Druids, is pretty crazy. And back at that time, Druids kind of sucked for healing. Well, they sucked for groups that wiped a lot, because they didn't have a normal res. They had a reagented, like 10-minute cooldown in combat res that they could use. And Shazra just falls like a paper bag. Well, he did this whole thing where he could arcane explosion and fun stuff like that. Yeah, I was going to say, these aren't going to have much value these days. Really, I have to type delete to delete a lava core. Do I have to? Yes, I have to do it for a fiery core too. Luckily, I can just sell all these other items. I mean, I don't get a whole lot of gold from killing these bosses, which, I mean, makes sense now. Like, it takes 2 hits to kill anything in here. Yeah. Oh. Killing all this stuff. Of course, by the time you've gotten over here, you know, you've gotten to where those guys, the core hounds won't respawn. Generally speaking, the lava surgers won't respawn either. Now, Harbinger here, Mr. Sulfuron Harbinger. Oh, hey, yeah, I'll totally take that. Take another Mark of Flame. Not that I do the pet battles thing much, but yeah, I'll do that. Add a second one. Mr. Sulfuron Harbinger over here, his big deal was that you got the 5 guys there, and the 4 of them that aren't him like to heal him, and they're really, really good at it. I also seem to remember something about a spear, but I don't think we'd gotten to the point that they were using like interactive objects very much, and my wife just turned off the big light in the room. Sorry if you were, you know, actually interested in seeing detail on my face cam. She just went, oh, what? You know what, we'll do this in the proper order. I'm down here. Kill this big dude. Trash. Okay. I can't tear the stupid offer that got sent to us in the mail. Well, yeah, I could. Quit making sense. So, down here, I say, we have an old nemesis. Golemag the Incinerator. Now, ooh, I remember, I think this actually used to be a place where being a druid was actually kind of important, because I think we could actually sleep these guys. Either way, you kind of had to crowd control Golemag's little doggies here. I mean, other than the dogs, Golemag was a complete, like, tank and spank fight. And my wife just laughed at the whole tank and spank thing, too. I do not have engineering to do the force reactive disc, but oh man, the force reactive disc. I remember we had a tank that had like 2 of those, and it had 2 or 3 of them. And it wasn't a big deal in here, but it was a huge deal in Encourage, because there were a couple of places where you had to deal with swarms of bugs, and the easiest way to get and keep aggro on all of them was to have a force reactive disc as a shield. Where'd it go? There we go. See, the thing is that when the shield blocks, it releases an electrical charge that damages all nearby enemies. The reason he had to have a couple of them is that second line there, which says this also damages the shield. Oh, yeah. It's like that. Now, Major Domo Executus. Important thing to note here, we won't actually kill this guy. Ragnaros gets the honor of doing that. Instead, we get to make him run off, because we get to kill these guys one after another, after another. And if for some reason you do actually focus down Major Domo, he like sacrifices each of these guys in turn. And yeah. Corehound tooth. What does that actually look like? Does that look like a tooth to you? I don't know. Maybe, kind of, sort of. Looks a little more like a claw to me. Oh, my inventory's full. Let's get rid of this skull that I don't want no more. Get rid of this Onyxia hide bag. It's not like I couldn't get another one tomorrow if I wanted to. I mean, seriously, that was crazy that it was that easy to kill Onyxia. Oh. Oh, okay. Ah. Oh. And now the long walk back, because of course Ragnaros can't be in a straight line from where anybody was standing before. No, no, no. He has to be way here in the middle. Way over here in the middle. Oh. And of course this was fun too because, you know, even if you'd managed to get through the whole thing without any wipes, due to the respawn timers on some of the types of mobs, some of them might have respawned in the meantime, and it was really easy to go from killing Executus to forgetting, oh, there are actually a few mobs that are on the way to Ragnaros' chamber without, you know, anything else going on there. Time for an upgrade. Oh. Garrison buildings to level 2. Congrats, Thorzane there. Running in a big, big circle. Running, running, running. And these Molten Destroyers are huge and pains in the butt. And now they just die in one hit. Bam. Kinda wish Baron Geddon had dropped his bracer for me. I think that's the one that I'm missing. There are 2 legendaries that you can get pieces of in Molten Core. One of them is Sulfurous and the other is Thunder Fury. And Thunder Fury depends on you getting these bindings from Gar and Baron Geddon, and the number of people who have only one of them is probably incredibly large. You know what? I really don't want to. Oh, come on. I should be able to jump up this. Apparently, I'm not. Watch me die. Watch me die because I'm too stupid to remember that it's really hard to actually climb certain parts of this. Oh, nope. Good. Good. No die. No dying today. Then we talk to Major Domo. The Fire Lord and his brethren once held sway over this entire world, mortal. As a servant of the old gods, he fought against the Titans for domination of this planet. The victorious Titans banished my master and his brethren to the elemental plane, there to remain imprisoned until the end of time. Tell me more, Executus. Yeah, we got us a Balrog situation here. The dwarves, they dug too deep. And yo, we challenged you. Get Ragnaros's butt out here. Combat starts in 1 minute 8 seconds, and we'll probably be done like 2 seconds after that, based on the damage numbers that we're putting out here.
Ragnaros, the Fire Lord, he who was ancient when this world was young. Bow before him, mortals. Bow before your enemy. Too soon. You have awakened me too soon, Executus. What is the meaning of this intrusion? These mortal infidels, my lord. We have invaded your sanctum and seek to steal your secrets. Fool. You allowed these insects to run rampant through the hallowed core. Now you lead them to my very lair. You have failed me, Executus. Justice shall be met indeed.
It's kind of too bad, because Ragnaros...
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's kind of too bad, because Ragnaros with his many phases was actually kind of interesting. I mean, the fire resist gear was the big, giant, like, roadblock for everybody, but... yeah, inventory is full, and he drops tier 2 leggings. So, like, you see, that's eye level 76, it's 66 for all the stuff, well, 66 and 64, and 61 in one case, apparently, for all the stuff that drops in here otherwise. And that is a quick run of Molten Core now that everything old has been nerfed into the ground. This has been part 2 of my 10th anniversary WoW retrospective of raiding. What'd you say? You said you love me. What did you actually say? Yeah, that's what I figured. She called me a dork. I was about to call myself a dork because I did the thing. I don't know if that's a hard truth, but okay. So yeah, what can I say? This has been part 2 of this 10-year retrospective. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.